I will yield 10 seconds to Senator Tuberville, and plus his 5 minutes. Senator
That's
Tuberville,
about all I
recognized.
need. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Morning, gentlemen. Probably getting tired. My lunch was good. No, I wasn't eating. Just a couple of questions. You know, since Guantanamo Bay was opened in 2002, the U.S. has detained close to 800, but roughly 730 have been transferred or released. What repercussions do you guys think will we see moving forward, when we've already seen some of the prisoners moving into the Taliban's new government in Afghanistan? Either one of you.
I think the symbolism is very strong, Senator, that in the end, those same people that we cleaned off the battlefield and put in prison, and the force that we went there to remove 20 years later is back in power.
Yeah, I mean, so, I've testified before about the Guantanamo detainees and documenting where they are. Mullah Zakir is now a deputy defense minister. He was at Guantanamo studying insurgency warfare for years. 4 of the 5 ex-Guantanamo detainees who were traded for Bo Bergdahl in 2014 are now ministers in the Taliban's government. All 4 of them were detained, by the way, with al-Qaeda ties and connections, including now the director of intelligence for the Taliban's new regime is Abdul Haq Wasik. He was an al-Qaeda man before 9/11. I have no reason to doubt that he still is. And there are ex-Guantanamo detainees all throughout the Taliban infrastructure.
Thank you. Dr. Nassar, on July 3rd, right after the U.S. withdrew from Bagram, you tweeted, quote, "The U.S. is telling Americans that it is ending forever wars while signaling to Afghans that it's not abandoning Afghanistan. It is hoping that things hold long enough for the last of the troops to have left," end quote. I want to pick up a bit here. By pulling out of Bagram, the U.S. was effectively ending its ability to provide significant support to Afghan military, correct?
Well, Bagram was the most important military base for the U.S. in Afghanistan.
So the signal that President Biden was sending that he wasn't abandoning Afghan and our partners, that was pretty much a dishonest statement, correct?
It was a political. It politically, basically, the United States was saying that it will hold on to supporting the Afghans, but not withholding on to military assets, and was going to abide by the terms of the Doha Agreement. Yeah. We were hoping that there would be a government in Afghanistan that would be inclusive.
But at the beginning, it was pretty dishonest. And just one more point on abandoning our partners. There are thousands of Afghans who worked with our troops and saved American lives. Somehow, the Biden administration says it's evacuated almost 124,000 Afghans, yet it got out fewer than half of our actual Afghan partners. Would you call this an abandonment?
Well, we had a deadline to leave. I wouldn't say necessarily it's abandonment, but we had varieties of categories of people who wanted to come out. There were SIVs. There were those who had worked with us. They had family members along with them. And I think at any point in time, getting out hundreds of thousands of people out of the country, finding a place to take them would have been difficult. And especially with the circumstances we left, it created a chaotic situation.
Yeah. I want to ask you this. This might be a little off the subject, but I was recently, a few weeks ago, in Europe talking to some of our officers handling the Afghans once they were evacuated. Huge problems with the young teenagers. They actually had to get the Taliban leaders to control them. Huge problems with wearing our clothes we gave them. Huge problems with discipline. How in the world are we going to bring in all these people that, number one, they don't like us very much. Number two, they're not going to listen to anybody. And we're going to turn them out on the streets. How is this going to work? I'll start with you, Doctor.
I don't really have any clarity on the process for how it's going to work, so I can't really answer the question. I know that there are various range of issues here in play.
Doctor?
It's difficult. In other words, we have evacuated large numbers of Afghans, not only in the United States but in a lot of other countries. Evacuation is only the first part. Actually settling them, integrating them into different societies where they are, whether it's in the UAE or the United States or Europe, is a whole different task.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for holding up for me.
Thank you, Senator Tuberville. Gentlemen, thank you for your excellent testimony. Senator King also wanted me to express his thanks. These are difficult issues, but your insights and your candor are incredibly helpful to this committee. Thank you very much. And with that, I will